everybody, my name is Kay, and this is my Cave of Possibilities. I've got knitting to the left of me, cross-stitch to the right, and here I am, stuck in the middle with you. Today, we have some fun stuff. It's mostly cross-stitch today, so let's roll the intro and I'll be right back. Princess is right back with us too. And is the grandfather clock telling us it's 5. All right, little cat, you're in the way. Yeah, you are. Okay, all right. Can you get down? I need the space. Let's start more or less with what I've been working on in the order that I've been working on things. I have a couple of finishes. The first one is the Pansy seed kit, or seed packet, that I was working on last time. And I finished this off. I must say that I really enjoyed this. I have stitched it with the called for DMCs. It's on a 32 count antique white, or antique lace. I think it's Antique White Lugana, 32 count, 2/2, with back stitching and everything. Sometimes you can see a little odd coloring there in the P and the A of Pansy because I started with a very old skein of the of Floss and then switched to a slightly newer skein, and there's just a tiny bit of color differential there. It only shows up in certain lights. I'm not sure if you can see it in this light, but it's not enough to have bothered me. If it really had bothered me, I think I would have gone ahead and fixed it, switched it out. So that was my first finish. Fold that up, put this, where will the kitty not try to love on it? Okay. And then the second finish I have is from I already gave the kit away too. Was this Riolis or RTO? I think this was an RTO kit. I hadn't started this at all the last time I talked to you. And this was just a tiny little kit, as I said, from RTO. And I used the called for, the flosses that were kitted up in it. I think they're DMC. They behaved a lot like DMC does. And I stitched this primarily while I was in California for a business conference that I went on to work. I didn't want to take the pansies because it was not done yet, but it was really close to being done. I just wanted something really small that would pack light and be easy to take. So that's why I started this one like on the day of our flight. Our flight was in the afternoon. I started in the morning, had enough done and established that I was able to stitch on it. I have not used the called for floss, or the kitted fabric was a 14 count aida, and I substituted out these 32 count Waterlily linen. So that's coming there. And I did the back stitching a little bit different. The pattern called for all the back stitching to be done in purple, but when I went around the orange flower in the purple, it just looked a little bit weird, but I had some extra orange, so I did the orange flowers in orange. I did do the blue flower in the purple as called for, and then the green, I had extra green, so I backstitched in green instead of purple. Hello, kitty. You're not taking no for an answer today, are you? There we go. So those are my two finishes. And I'm really pleased at how they have finished up. So what do you want to do? Okay. Our third project that we have been working on, which you saw just a little tiny bit of. I need you to be in a different spot. Here you go. Thank you. Here it is. Lady of the Flag by Mirabilia. She is on loan. I'm not going to tell you who loaned it to me, so I can't pass it on, and you can't bother my friend who gave it to me. You'll have to find it for yourselves. I know that's rude, but I really don't want a a plethora of people begging to borrow the pattern. All her flosses and delightful stuff are living in this patriotic bag that I made for myself some time ago. And where is she? Which side is up? Here we go. So she is much farther along than she was the last time I talked to you. I think last time I showed it, this little yellow, gold, was done. And then I didn't even present it properly because I was busy washing the linen to make it a little bit softer than how it is when it comes right out of the, right off the bolt. And so it's a lot softer, definitely easier to manipulate. And I'm using a nurse hoop because that fits very well on my Case Creation desk stand, lap stand, the flat sides. I do miss the spring tension hoops. I think that does tension a little bit better, but it doesn't fit in the clamps for the lap stand as well as I'd prefer. But anyway, I got a ton of her done over the past 3 weeks, 4 weeks. How long has it been? Past little while. We, being my best friend and I, went down to the St. George. Oh, kitty. Come here. I don't need you rubbing your head against the tripod. Yeah, that's not what needs to happen. Anyway, St. George Stitcher's Retreat. That was just this past weekend. So we just got back on Sunday the 17th. Yep, Sunday the 17th. Happy St. Patrick's Day. A little bit late. Anyway, I worked on her straight for like a day and a half. Got a lot of her done while I was down there before I switched to a different project. It was absolutely fantastic. I sat at a table with Marla and Robin and Summer and Paige and my best friend and had an enjoyable time. Met several other stitchers, saw several other familiar faces, and we had, I mean, how many times can I say I had a great time? I had a great time. So enough so that my best friend and I are looking at going up to the Crazy Woman Stitching Retreat that is in Casper, Wyoming in September. So we're looking at that and probably, well, I'm going to go. She doesn't know if her schedule will allow for it. So there's that. Anyway. This is Lady of the Flag. I'm stitching her with the call for DMCs and critics, and it called for flosses on a 32 count Waterlily linen. I just love this. Anyway, this linen, it's a great color for many and various different things. It really, it's just right. So since that is the project I only worked on part-time, I went crazy and started a new project. Let's pull everything out here. I put my bag of everything right next to me, so I just, go over there and root around it and get what I want out of it. Anyway, Cindy Sorley, Stitchery Express, they had brought down a mini shop to the stitching retreat, and I got the Primrose Cottage Spring Quaker pattern. I think this was a Nashville release. I wasn't paying too close attention as to what was released at Nashville and what wasn't, but I think this might have been a Nashville release. So there's what it looks like. And then I am using, this is the wad of threads. It's sort of organized, but I had everything off of the cards so that I could look at the different flosses and decide, which one I wanted to pull and use next. I'm not fussy cutting, but I am fussy stitching. So I look at what colors are in the next thread and decide if that's one I want to use or if I want where I want to put it, stuff like that. So this is Dragon Fruit by The Gentle Art, Simply Shaker. It's a Gast, one of those, and it's absolutely beautiful. And here is my progress thus far, and it is absolutely beautiful. The fabric I am stitching on is a 32 count Lugana. It was dyed by Red Thicket, and she had a table down there selling her beautiful linens and Luganas and hand-dyed fabrics at the Southern Utah Stitchers Retreat. It was gorgeous. Summer dyes wonderful, wonderful fabric. I don't know if the window is washing out my colors or not. It's hard to see from the preview on my camera. But it's called Thistle. It is a very soft, beautiful purpley pink, and it really picks up and emphasizes the colors of dragon fruit. And so I did most of this while I was at the retreat. I did this emblem when I came home, this emblem and this little bit the other day when I came home. So I got a good amount of stitching done there, and I'm really enjoying it. So I know it sounds funny I'm really looking forward to it being done when you're really enjoying the stitch. But I have so many things that I want to work on. I've got to finish something before I can work on something new. Okay, let's set that there. I also had a few other purchases. Whilst down at the retreat, I picked up the 12 Months of Smalls, also from Primrose Cottage. Really cute, really darling. All sorts of fun little things in there. And then from Satsuma Street, I picked up the Funky Chickens. Because how can you say no to Funky Chickens? I love the way these look. These are another one that I really want to start. And I think, depending upon the colors, and I could probably modify the colors a little bit. I think it'd look great on the leftover piece of the Thistle Lugana that I'm going to have once I finish the spring Quaker that I'm working on. But these cracked me up, so I bought those. And those, that was everything that I bought at the retreat. Let's stay with retreat stuff. Here is our prize retreat project. So everybody got one of these fun little zipper bags. It has a front pocket here, top pocket above. And the project this year is, here we go, the Southern Utah Stitching Retreat logo with some beautiful Snicker Doodle linen. This was also dyed by Red Thicket. If she doesn't have the fabric that you want in stock, contact her and she'll be happy to dye any thing that you're looking for up. Anyway, this is Snicker Doodle. It is a light modelly tan because once again, I'm not exactly sure what is being shown there, if it's actually dark enough or if it's being washed out a little bit. It's hard to see in the natural light of my north-facing window. And we got the DMCs to go ahead and start it, a couple of needles, and then from Dirty Annie's we have Mr. and Mrs. Summer. Yep, they're kind of a funny. Holding their margaritas, flip-flops, ready to chill out by the pool. In addition to all of this very fun stuff in the project bag, they had these little dough bowls made. They came in black, white, this turquoise, and a nice barn red. And the white ones were really fast, and I figured since I do a lot of purple stitching, the turquoise and the purple would work really well together, so I chose turquoise for my beautiful dobo. So we got that, and that was the thing, stitching retreat project. You know how it is. You sit down and you're to talk and your brain decides it's not going to talk. It's not interested in any of that anymore. There were, So one of the door prizes, I did happen to win a door prize. And my door prize was the project from last year's Crazy Woman Retreat. And so it's the Rocky Mountain Quaker. And it too is all kitted out with the fabric flosses on a floss sorter. There's a corner start. There's a needle. There's the needle. And let's see if we can get that without the reflection being too terrible. There we go. I have been told that there's not quite enough green to get her done, so I might have to add a different or an additional green. So that was pretty fun. An excellent door prize. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Avalanche. Okay. And then my last cross-stitch purchase that I had hoped would arrive before I went down to the retreat. It was delivered apparently about 20 minutes after I had left, is this pansy pattern from Owl Forest Embroidery. I looked at the copyright date and it was released in 2022, but I wasn't paying much attention to cross-stitch in 2022. So here it is, Pansies. I love the colors. I just love the pattern. It looks great and fun. And since I was feeling a little bit lazy, I went ahead and ordered the kit with the fabric that it was stitched on, and the wee packet of flosses. So those are all ready to go, ready to stitch up. As soon as I finish, see, I have to finish one of these other projects before I can start a new project. Finish 2, start 1. So I've got to finish something before I can start another thing, which I know is finish 1, start 1, but I can cheat if I want to, right? Right? So that is all the cross-stitch stuff. Give me a minute. I'm going to put it all back in the bag. One last thought about the retreat is a lot of people had really cool looking stitch mats. Basically a placemat that you put down in front of your spot at the retreat, and those looked really cool. Done some research. I found a tutorial that, if I remember her name, while I'm editing that, I'll add that tutorial to the drop box below the description box. And so I've been thinking about, do I just want to do it fabric? Do I want to do a stitch piece for it? I think I kind of want to do, thank you, princess. You're in the way. Yeah, you're not helping. That still looks, anyway. Stitchy mats. Anyway, do I want to do it plain, or do I want to stitch something to have stitched into my mat? And I decided I'd like to stitch some pansies. Well, which pansies do I stitch? And it dawned on me that I really like this pansy pattern that I've done that is by Lavender and Lace, and so I might have to restitch that so that it can be put into a stitch mat. And maybe my RTO pansies, maybe they'll have to join the stitch mat too, so we can have pansies galore in a stitch mat. So there's that. Alright, knitting stuff. I have not been working on knitting as much as I used to. Like I say, my crafting tends to be in 5-year cycles. We're just finishing 5 years of obsessive knitting. It looks like we're transitioning back to cross stitch, which is fine. Life comes and goes, ebbs and flows, and that's alright. So I am working on the Wrap It Real Good pattern from Amba O'Brien, and it is a wrap that calls for DK, and I am using a collection of Valentine's minis that are in DK. It's a simple little feather and fan type of pattern, and so I've got 7 colors done, ready to start on the 8th. It's going from the darkest purples and the darkest reds, and it'll just kind of go into the middle where it's all pink, and then it'll fade out the opposite way. So for one set of minis, I numbered them 1 through 12 and laid them out, And then I put the other set of minis, 1, 2, 12, and laid them out and intermix them. So it's like 1, 12, 2, 11, 3, 10, like that. And it'll go all the way through. It'll look great. I'm using the vast majority of my minis, which is wonderful. I did add an additional feather and fan repeat, one of these between the things. So there's an extra repeat of the pattern on my needles, and that'll make it just a little bit longer. This one that's over the TV, this is the same pattern. Don't know how well you can see it because that is in the background. I don't wear that one. Pattern's great. Not a fan of the colors. It was really a random assortment of colors when I bought that festive kit and knit that up. Easy knit, like it, love it. Just I don't wear that one because it's not colors that I wear. So it is what it is. We all have projects like that, don't we? That we knit and enjoy and then don't wear. And then the last bit of yarny goodness that I have is one of my good friends from my World of Warcraft guild asked if I could make him a hat, a Chutney's hat, which I think is a character for that one show, Critical Role maybe. All I know is he's a D&D character and he has a hat. So somebody out there on Ravelry has done a pattern, and so I've got these are not flosses. I've got the yarns have just come in to do the hat. So there's a hat in my future, and I'll just work on it this summer. Hopefully we'll get her done before the snows start flying here at the end of the year, and my friend will have a nerd hat, which is how he described it. He was like, I need a nerd hat. Alright, I can do a hat. Hats are easy. So that is pretty much everything. Life's been really calm. Nothing exciting going on, which is just the way I like it. In about 3 weeks, Mom, Dad, my sister, and I are headed to Texas for the great eclipse that'll go across the continent. We'll be east of Denver, and I think we'll have a great view, provided that the weather is clear. So we're just going to go out to Texas, do a road trip, be there, I'm off work for like 10 days, so that's going to be some good stuff. We figured since we were already in Texas, we may as well be tourists in Texas and check out, in addition to Dallas, Austin, and San Antonio, and then head home after messing around in Texas for a little while. So that's kind of what's going on there. Work continues as always, just busy doing accounting things because it's, well, there's a lot going on in the special events world of where I work and accounting. Always something going on, always something that needs to be cost out, gathered up, budgeted, you know, all the fun things. So there's everything that I've kind of got going on. Yeah, that's it. I don't think I have, I have worked a little bit on my anthology throw, which is the blanket, but like 3 or 4 rows, so that's not worth showing. That's why I didn't bring it over. So there you go. Short, sweet, to the point. I hope y'all are having a good one. Remember, 1 step forward, 1 step up. Kindness costs you nothing. Hugs and stitches, everyone. Bye.